fill the prescription I gave you. Take the sleeping pills.
Can't risk it. Never know when I might get called out.
You also can't risk going weeks without a good night's sleep. It's dangerous, physically and mentally. And you threw that prescription away, didn't you?
I'm Dr. Charles. I'm here to help you.
I can't have these tubes.
Get 5
They're
pounds.
trying to escape.
Wait, who's trying to escape?
The numbers. They're trying to get out.
So you're pulling out your catheter to keep the numbers inside?
They're trying to get out. I need the numbers. No.
Easy.
I need the numbers. I'm gonna lose them.
That's why I love fractals. The perfect union of math and art.
Did you see the Mandelbrot exhibit?
Hello, he is the only reason I studied Brownian motion. Who wants to see another iteration of finite subdivisions?
Not me, baby.
Is that what you need?
Right here.
So when you coming home?
I'm meeting her at 9. I'll make the exchange, then head straight home.
You're not gonna show your face, no?
Why not? She doesn't know my name.
All I know is now he's perfectly clear. When it comes to this weapon, I don't share your optimism.
It's the first time anyone's accused me of optimism.
Yes, well, I'll remind you your wife refused the idea of bringing the hammer back online. I would have thought you'd respect Anya's wishes.
I'm gonna pretend you didn't say that. For both our sakes.
Anya would have wanted you
You
to...
don't get to talk about her.
If that's what you think, I won't argue.
You and that goddamn fertility program.
A program that gave you your son. And mine. I honor Anya. I loved Anya. I don't care if you believe me. When my program was in its infancy, she came to me. She volunteered. Both times she volunteered. Seeing First Minister Stroud undergo treatment. Do you know how many children are alive today thanks to her? She should be buried here, you know, with the Allfathers. The people need her inspiration.
Your inspiration was my wife.
Oh, I guess we can, but overall, how's your Friday going?
Other than that, it's fine. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, how about you?
Oh, it's great. Just got a haircut today.
Oh, very nice.
So I haven't had a haircut in 3 weeks.
Oh, so it was time.
Yes. So it was getting kind of rough.
Yeah.
So,
I feel you.
So,
I feel you.
well, if the small talk is over, I guess we can go ahead and get into this thing. So, yeah, I like to begin with small talk before we get started.
I understand. Yeah.
So, all right. Well, greetings everybody and happy Friday. This is Phil. I'm host of the Conversation Podcast. So I have a special guest with me here today. Introduce yourself. Who's Angel Desai I'm speaking to?
Hello, everybody. I'm Angel.
There you go.
What else would you like me to say?
Well, who you are and what you do.
Oh, I'm Angel Desai. I am an actor. I'm also a singer and a musician. And I have done voiceover work in various mediums. I also have directed some things. I've written some things. I've occasionally taught acting. And lots of other random stuff that we can get into if there's time.
Okay. Well, hey, you wear many hats, don't you? So it works.
Yeah.
Well, before we get into the main thing, I want to start with an icebreaker, okay?
Okay.
Now, what's one place that you haven't traveled to, but you really want to go to?
Oh gosh. Haven't traveled to. There's so many. My boyfriend is in the UK right now, which is why I'm thinking about it, because he got this writing grant to do research in Scotland and England, and he's visiting the Roman ruins and the pagan sites in Scotland and England, and that sounds really cool. And I've never done that, but I think that would be great. But then, like, I always immediately think, like, I'd love to go see the big animals in Africa. So that would also be cool. So,
Well,
either
it's
one.
possible. It's possible. It's possible. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm trying to get to places too. My sister is actually in Chicago right now.
Mm.
So I'm trying to go to all these places. There's a lot of stuff going on here. And, I'm based in Georgia. So there's a lot of places in Georgia going on.
Where in Georgia?
So I'm in Savannah, Georgia, but I'm close to Atlanta.
Uh-huh.
So
Have I been to Savannah? I think for a day once. How far is the drive between Atlanta and Savannah?
it's a 4 hour drive.
Oh, is it 4 hours?
Hmm.
Because I just remember eating at this sort of famous place, and I think it might have been in Savannah, sort of like a family style um, soul food place, but maybe it wasn't Savannah, maybe it was Atlanta. Definitely been to Atlanta a few times, but
Okay.
but yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I can't remember. I think I've been to it before. I just can't remember. I know what you're talking about, but I just can't remember the name.
Yeah, I but now
Hmm.
and now I'm not sure anymore because it was just the one day. I feel like Chicago's a doable. I feel like you could get to Chicago pretty doably. Do you feel like you can do that?
I can't. I mean, my sister made it. Sure can I?
I think I'm sure you can. They have some cheap flights
Okay, good. Because
to
it's all
Chicago
about
now
the.
and
It's always about the money first.
yes, 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 indeed.
So it's something that I got to figure out. But I'm doing a good job so far, saving up.
Yep, yep,
So
good.
just gotta keep trying.
Yes,
But I
yeah.
do want to go to like places like Barcelona, Singapore, and Japan, of course.
I've been to Singapore. I've never been to Japan. I've been to Barcelona. Yeah. I hope you get to go. Singapore is really interesting. It's really hot. It's really, really, really hot and muggy. Just so you know.
I'll keep
It'll
that in mind.
it'll be super, super hot and muggy. Of course, you live in Georgia, so you know, you might be
Well,
used to a certain degree of that.
well, I do need to get more shorts.
There you go. Might be a reason. Might be an
So yeah,
excuse to go.
yeah. So I need to get some more shorts. The good news, there is an outlet close to here, so I might go to Old Navy or something, get some shorts.
Yeah, as a treat
They,
after the interview. Go get
they,
yourself some shorts.
I'll see what I can do. Now that the ice is broken, let's go ahead into the main thing. So I cut this down from 20 to 15 questions, okay? Because just and also to make this go smoother, I'm gonna make these into like two-part questions. All right.
Okay,
So
sure.
let's go ahead and start with the origin story, the artist behind performances.
Okay.
Now, Angel, before Broadway, television, video games, and all the different chapters of your career, who were you when you first discovering that performing could be your life? Was there a particular experience when acting stopped feeling like something you love and started feeling like something you needed to pursue?
Mm. That's a really good way of putting it. I appreciate that you put it that way because when I have taught and when I've given advice to younger students and younger actors, I will say that. I will say it can't just be something you want to do. It has to be something you need to do. Um, but thanks for the question. As long as I can remember, I wanted to be a performer. I wanted to be an actor. Like, age 3. Like, I was always, I was singing very early. My mom tells stories about me in the maternity dress shop singing songs when she was pregnant with my sister, which means I wasn't yet 3. And she's not one to make that kind of stuff up, so I believe her. But so I just it was always in me to perform. Yeah, I always wanted to, but it was a longer road to get there because A, my hometown and our schools didn't have any drama programs.
Mhm.
But more importantly, B, my parents wanted a different path for me. They're immigrant parents. They wanted me to be a doctor. That's what they were hoping. I did not do pre-med. I was a science major, but I didn't do pre-med. Um, and I didn't really get up the guts to kind of make my own choice and commit to it till my senior year of college, where I was like, oh, And I will always credit Paul Moser, who was, I think was he the head of the department? Or he was at least an acting teacher at Oberlin College, where I went to school. And he had put a sign on the bulletin board at the beginning of the year: anyone who wants to audition for grad school, I will help you pick your monologues and rehearse them, and let's talk. And I will credit him forever for helping me to get into grad school. Because if I hadn't done that and I hadn't got into grad school, I wouldn't be doing any of this stuff. Because I didn't take any acting classes until after I knew I got into grad school. So it was at that point when I really had to, because I had to kind of defy my parents, and by kind of I mean I did, and it wasn't pretty, but
Mm.
they forgave me eventually, and accepted it eventually. It was a bit rough, but I knew that's what I needed to do. So maybe that was then. That's really, I never identified when it became need, but that must be it, I guess.
Yeah, and I like that you said all that because I know because most people don't understand like there's actually more to acting than what you're just going on to the screen and everything. And in your case, you realize this is something you knew because you were also in the process of making sure that I'm trying to make sure I be successful in what I want to do, as well as understand like at some point later you have to pay your dues as well.
Yep. Oh
That's
yeah.
the most important part. And and us young people, we don't understand that part. We're kind of slowly progressing into that. But you've been doing this as long as I've seen your work. So which it but that's a good thing about, when we have these kinds of discussions with veteran VAs who've been doing this for quite a while. Like we don't know how the whole thing works. And there's probably still a lot we don't know about. So
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
realize that hey, this is something I want to do because I need to do this because I gotta take care of X, Y, and Z.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very crucial, and I think you did the right thing doing making sure, hey, this is something I needed to do. I don't care what my folks are saying. I got to do this.
Yeah, and of course, there's ways to handle it once you realize that. I probably could have. Well, I don't know what else I could have done because I knew that I had to. They're your parents, you only got the two, or in some people's cases the one or the three or what have you. But like, you don't have a lot of them, so
Yeah.
you gotta. It's But yeah, it is. I feel very fortunate that they came around. It took a little while, but they came around.
Well, there's no saying slow and steady wins the race.
I mean, that's certainly what I've been doing. Like, I had of course hoped and dreamt as a kid that I'd be that kid who got to be a child star. And then as my childhood was passing, it's like, all right, I'll be a young, a late teens, early 20s star. And then it's like, oh, I don't even have an agent. I guess I won't even, I guess I'll, you know, and now I'm the age that I am, and I'm like, I'm gonna try not to even think about that. The idea of being a star, whatever that means these days. All I know is I keep doing it because I keep feeling the need to do it. You know? So this is another thing I tell people. There's no right or wrong to it. It's not like if you identify it as a need, as a very deep passion very early, if that changes along the way, that's okay. It's okay, or sometimes we identify the thing that we truly need or that we're truly passionate about later. That happens to some people. That's happened to a bunch of people. And then people take multiple paths. Uh, I think there's many ways to go about it. But as you were saying, like with the profession of acting, music, any of the arts, they're rough roads. So you really have to have a deep need for it, or else it's just torture.
Something my granddad is telling me. I'm taking his teachings. You gotta make sure you hungry for it.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you're not hungry for it, then
Yep.
don't do it.
Well, and also, like, I've been doing this a very long time. There are times when you get really tired. And there are times when you just are like, I don't even know. maybe I should. That you will find yourself asking the question, maybe I should quit more than once. That's okay. That's okay. If the hunger comes back, then you know it's real. If it doesn't come back, it's like, okay, guess I'm done. I'll find something else.
Well, hey, looks like you're doing a great job of that. So
Oh,
don't
thanks.
stop. Don't stop.
Well, thank you. That's kind of you.
Thanks. Next up, now you built a career that doesn't fit neatly into one box. I know it's not easy to get it perfect. Now you've worked across theater, television, film, music, and video games. Now, when you look at all those different sides of yourself as an artist, what connects them? What do you think you're ultimately searching for whenever you step into a new character or create a space?
That's a really good question. I, it's funny because thank you for the question because I'm going to use it as an opportunity to put it out there to a larger universe.
Mm-hmm.
I have found myself in this stage of my life and the kinds of jobs I've been getting to be getting a lot of kind of hard asses, a lot of women who are in authority positions, who are strong and smart and authoritative and no nonsense and all this stuff. And I appreciate that people are like, hey, you can do that. Can you come do this? I appreciate that. I'm always grateful for work, but I have so many other sides to me. So what I'm looking for now, which is maybe not what I would have been looking for 20 years ago, but what I'm looking for right now is the opportunity to explore the other sides of me in parts that are more complex. So I feel like the last few years, I'm again super grateful because I've worked on a lot of different shows and met a lot of great actors and had a lot of great experiences. But I would just like to play different kinds of parts now. Maybe I wouldn't have thought about playing the sort of vulnerable feminine type, but the past few years I'm just like, yeah, that's what I'm looking for now. I'm looking for roles that are challenging as an actor, fun. I want the writing to be good. Most actors who really care about it, they want the writing to be good. Whatever medium you're in, you want the writing to be good. You also want the people to be good.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're around long enough and you get to meet enough people, you get a sense very early, like, is this going to be a fun room? Is this going to be a fun set? Cool. Great. That's the kind of stuff you can't really control. You can control the roles you take or don't take. The rest of it, you can't really control. So it's a really nice bonus when you walk into a room or on a set where it's mostly great people. That's the best.
And sometimes you also got to learn how to, adapt to new things. Sometimes
Oh yeah.
there's there's things in life that we don't want to do, but we know we have to do it.
Hmm.
My grandma taught me that. I'm still encountering stuff that I don't want to do, but I have to do it. So I think it just goes hand in hand, whatever career that you're doing, whether it's like, acting, being an artist, musician, it all goes hand in hand with each other. But us as human beings, we gotten used to adapting to certain situations where it's like, well, hey,
Yeah.
well, shoot, it may not be exactly what we want to do, but I know we got to get this sort of project done. And who knows, you actually may enjoy it later.
Well, you can get to a point or at least of acceptance. I feel like that's life. The idea that there's always going to be something you don't want to have to do, but you have to do it. I feel like that's almost every day in different contexts. And it becomes tough when it's something that is your deep love, your deep passion, yes, I chose this, but I also feel like it chose me. A fellow actor said that to me, or reminded me about that earlier this year, and reminded me that it's a calling. You know, it's I do believe that. I think that it may not be that everyone who chooses to do it feels called, but I feel called. I feel called to a number of things artistically. But it's like you said, there's still going to be aspects of it that you don't like, but you may as well breathe through it, you know? Some might say suck it up, but I like to say just,
Breathe through
acceptance
it.
is breathing. You got to breathe through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's yeah, pretty much we say acceptance. And listen, at the end of the day, it's like, well, shoot, we went through this tough task, but we look at it now, it's like, huh, this is amazing.
Yeah. It just, and when you realize that it's a part of almost everything and you just go, oh, that's life, then your mind can, you don't have to, if you can let go of asking why something is happening to you, why do I have to do this, why, if you can accept that that's just life, then you can let go of that and focus your energy on other things.
It exactly. And speaking of like all the the film stuff, that actually goes into the next section with Broadway
Oh.
music and the
Mm.
stage.
Mm.
So um I got an extra question for you before we get into that. Now, have you ever went to New York to check out the Broadway plays?
Well, I was in one, right?
Okay. Hmm.
And I
Which
live in
was
New York.
which is the Stephen Sandham Company?
Sondheim. Yes,
Uh,
Stephen Sondheim. Yep. That was
Sometime.
Sondheim, yeah.
Mm.
That was a revival of his musical company, which was originally done, I believe, in 1971. Ours was the 2006 revival, um, and in it we were also musicians as well as the singer actors. So we were the orchestra performing, playing the score, accompanying ourselves while doing the piece.
Mm.
Uh, and so, yes, I've seen many plays and musicals. I've also done that one. So yeah.
Yeah, I do want to check out New York. I'm actually trying to see if I can get there with my sister next time for another
Have you
brother.
never been?
No, I haven't
Not
been there.
yet. Not
Yeah,
yet.
thing is, I only been there because my mom was pregnant with me, so she used to work in New York. So I just never got a
Oh,
chance to see it by myself.
well, if you put it on the list, you just put it on the list. Chicago for your sister, New York to see
Yeah,
theater. Yeah.
I do want to check out their New York style pizza.
Yes, come and have some pizza. There's some particular places to go for the pizza. Everyone's going to argue about where you're supposed to go for pizza. The truth is, there's several places you can go and have good pizza in New York. Um,
I'll take a
yeah, there's
look
a
at
lot of
it.
stuff to check out. There's a lot of stuff to check out here. Um,
Okay.
but the theater scene is definitely part of that. Yeah.
All right. I'll take your word on it. All right.
Hmm.
Now
And
we can
not just
get.
Broadway, I will say.
Oh, okay, okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
all right. Well, now we can get into the question now, since I wanted to ask that question at the Broadway stuff. Because now, 'cause I didn't know you lived in New York. I'm sorry for not catching that. And so,
That's okay.
so now you were part of the Broadway revival of Stephen Sondheim's company
Yes,
playing
yes.
Martha, if I got this correctly.
Marta. Not there's no H, but yeah, Marta.
Sorry. I am so sorry. Marta. Marta.
It's
Listen,
okay.
listen, let me know if I get it wrong, okay? Yeah,
It's all right.
all right. Sondheim's work depends so much precision while still needing to feel completely human. Now, what did working with that material teach you about storytelling that you've carried into the rest of your career?
Ooh, wow. Never thought about it that way. Good question. What did it teach me about storytelling? Well, so I'm gonna have to think about that one because I haven't thought about it in that way before. But
Mm,
that particular production was it almost that production because we were also the orchestra. It would have been even if we were not the orchestra. It's an ensemble piece. That particular show is, well, I would say most shows are ensemble pieces, but that is for sure an ensemble piece because the central character Bobby, is depending on all of the characters around him to help him kind of figure out his life. But we were also the orchestra, which is a group of people that have to coalesce around a score and bring that to life. So, like, it was this sort of double whammy of having to be part of this group. And we were 100% interdependent with each other. And I guess if you do it when you do it 8 times a week, it's easy to take for granted that that's what's happening. But it really was so, within a hair's breadth of each person so much being on their game so that the show does not fall apart, so that a moment can happen. The truth is that even if you're in a play where there's like 3 main characters and a whole bunch of smaller parts, or 5 main characters and a couple smaller parts, the truth is everything is like that. Theater's like that, film, TV, anything creative that you put together for storytelling isn't just one person. A novelist writes the book, but then if they don't take it to their agent, the publisher, whoever it is, the editor, if people don't buy it, if there aren't people who give feedback on it, it doesn't come to be. So I guess it really emphasized the idea that nothing happens alone. We like to give singular credit to one person a lot of the time. And I will say, for instance, someone like Stephen Sondheim, I mean, so much of that was his genius brain at work. But I think he himself would have said just how many people helped him become who he became. So, anyway.
And the best part is, even though, like, you actually get to be a part of the experience too. Like, even though, oh yeah, I'm still trying to work on making sure that the play is good and make sure it feels like human ingenuity. You get to be part of like some of those stuff like you don't like to get to see in like I'm trying to think what's the right word for this. Stuff that you don't get to see like in like live action movie theaters or something.
Oh,
Because it's
yeah.
like let's try acting the play instead of just watching something on the screen. And I think that's what most people have. That's what like some people that to like see stuff on the screen, they want to like act it out instead. Like I can imagine so many people at home acting out scenes from their favorite movies.
That's what I used to do as a kid. I used to, I used to, I used to pretend to be Princess Leia. I used to, that is, of course, that is exactly what I did all the time, sure. But if you're talking about the distinction between like live theater
Hmm.
versus film and TV, here's a little tip for anyone out there who may not have seen a live play or musical and is thinking of going. I just want to say we can see you when we're on the stage. The people, when you're watching a movie or something on TV, they can't see the audience. It's all done. It's been done way before you see it. But when you are in the theater and we are there, we can see you. We can hear you. That's why it is rude and awful to be on your phone or to be talking to your friends or to be having loud snacks. All that stuff, we hate that because we're trying to do something up here. We're trying to focus. We're trying to give you something. And, the other people in the audience hate that because they didn't pay to hear you talking to your friend. They paid to see us. So just FYI, it's, good theater etiquette. Don't distract the very live people who can totally see and hear what you're doing.
Hey, I'll make sure this is off when I'm in the theater. Turn it on
Oh,
silent.
yes. Turn off your goddamn phones. Yes.
Yes, trust me. When I go to something like that, and especially in the theater, my
Yeah.
phone is off for the rest of the
Thank you.
time.
Well,
Just,
then you're way ahead of half the people,
hey, I don't.
unfortunately.
Hey, I don't want to say. Hey, I want to make sure I follow the rules because back then, some people were saying, "Hey, rules were made to be broken." That's what they used. That's what they be saying now these days still.
Ah,
But
well,
yes,
in that case, yes, you can break the rules and we'll just all hate you.
Yeah,
if that's what
Lord.
you,
Not
you know.
me. Not me, not me. But
You
yes,
can ruin it for us.
but yeah, I don't want to miss out on the performance on the stage. I want to see everything, every ounce. So
Yeah.
I'm be
Yeah.
focused on it.
Okay.
So
Yes. Good.
now I want to the next one because, like I said, you are a person of many hats. Okay.
Hmm.
Now
Hmm.
you're also a musician and jazz vocalist. Acting requires you to inhabit someone else's perspective, while
Yeah.
singing can sometimes feel more personally revealing. Now, do those
Hmm.
two forms of expression unlock different parts of you as a performer?
Ooh. Uh, say the question again. Like those two. Do you mean the two hats of acting and singing? Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
So can you rephrase or repeat the question? Do
Okay.
those two hats?
Yeah, give me one second. Do those two forms of
Oh,
expression
two.
unlock different parts of you as a performer?
Ah. Um. Some yes, some no. It like for instance, having to be Marta in company, for example. I was singing as her. It just so happens that I can identify with a lot of what Marta feels and is expressing in that song that she sings, Another 100 People. What the a character is always going to be a marriage of the actor plus what's written on the page. And one of my acting teachers used to say sometimes the journey between you and the character is this close, and sometimes it's like this, and you have to figure out what you. But you're always going to be bringing some percentage of yourself, sometimes a huge percentage of yourself, to the character. And as you say, smartly, singing is one of the most vulnerable experiences a human being can have.
Mhm.
When you are singing, that is your soul naked. And you'll find yourself, if you're not used to singing, but if you're going to sing something very sincerely, if you're going to express some lyrics very sincerely, you will find yourself feeling things that you didn't think you were feeling, accessing things that you didn't think you were. You'll have all kinds of feelings and sensations. And this goes for people who are new at it. This goes for people who've been doing it all their lives. That's just the nature of singing. So I wouldn't say that it's necessarily different parts of me. It's definitely an added skill set.
Hmm.
Not every actor, like singing is its own thing. Not every actor can sing, not every singer can act. But if you can do both and you're supposed to be doing both, like a pop singer doesn't have to act their songs. They're singing their songs and they're performing them, but I'm going to say that that's different from acting because in musical theater, in opera, there's a story in the words and you have to carry that part of the story forward through the song. So it's both very much, if I'm singing something as a character, it is both very much what I do as an actor, but you've got the technical skills added on of singing, which is something that I am fortunate that I got to learn and do a lot. But so it's even more of a juggling act because you got to have all the technique and stuff that's very technical, and then you have to let that go and be an actor, but with that skill. Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
It didn't, no, 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 no. It makes total sense. Like I said, I want y'all to preach, okay? But yes, but yes.
Okay.
Singing and acting is not, it's doing that at the same time while the show's going is not easy because you basically have to keep track of all the moves that you perform on stage, and you have to keep track of all the lines that you're supposed to sing. And I've seen that up close. I was like, this ain't easy for them because they really have to keep track of both. And
Yeah, yeah, which is what rehearsal's about.
mhm.
Singing, I think sometimes people who don't know any better, and by people I mean some producers and directors, and sometimes writers, don't understand that it is muscle memory. Singing is muscle memory. In case there are any producers or directors out there listening, singing is muscle memory. Dialect work is muscle memory. People forget that all of this stuff here, these are muscles that have to practice what they're doing so that you aren't conscious about it while you're doing it. It's going to be better the more you practice. So don't bring someone in and say, hey, can you do this dialect and be ready tomorrow? It's really, it's not the way to get the best work out of someone. Just that's a little bit of my own tangent soapbox preach over here. But yes, I will say for now, like, that's what rehearsal's about.
Like I said, listen, take all the time you need. Like some directors need to understand that it needs to be. And hey, and also if any producers and directors are listening to this, y'all, like I said before, slow and steady wins the race. It's all about quality, not
Well,
quantity.
you wouldn't know that from current Hollywood, but yes, yes.
Oh yeah,
Quality.
no, I agree with you. I agree with you. Listen, take Marvel Studios for example. Like when they've been pumping out 3 movies every year and whatnot, and I was like, y'all doing too much. This movie ain't good, and that's how the Marvels flopped. It didn't do so good.
I felt
So
so sad. It made me so angry.
so that's why I'm
Yeah.
saying. Like and guess what? I don't know. Marvel's not gonna hear me say this, but y'all take y'all time. We're not going anywhere.
Yeah, we're not gonna die because you didn't put the movie out this year. We'll be okay. You'll be okay. You're not gonna, if you're already going into the hole to produce something, take your time at least so that you can make your money back because you made a better film. It just doesn't make business sense to me, let alone any other kind of sense with so much of it. But that's
It's
another soapbox for another time.
Yeah, especially with them saying, I'm actually going to talk about this later in one of my videos, because saying
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to process my mind on this because I was looking at this homework thing for the Road to Doomsday. This is everything that you need to watch before
Mm,
Avengers Doomsday. That includes the
mm.
movies and the TV shows. 300 hours worth of content. And
Yeah,
some of the stuff that I barely even watch anyway, like the TV shows, because it's like there's a few good ones here and there, But I hate how they did Iron Fist.
I never
So
saw Iron Fist. I did a few episodes of Jessica Jones, so I was watching that, and I really like Jessica Jones. Um, and I saw a little bit of Luke Cage and Daredevil, although it got really violent and I couldn't handle it. So I stopped watching Daredevil, although I thought Charlie Cox was great. Um, but yeah, just when it gets to when there's so much and you feel like you won't understand anything,
mhm.
then it feels like homework, and then that's not fun.
I know, right? But yeah, and actually, yeah. And that actually goes like with Jessica Jones. That's actually the next question I'm gonna ask you. But yes, I'm just like,
Oh,
I
really?
just didn't realize there was that much throughout the year. And it's like
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
trying to process my mind if I wanted to watch all this before Christmas, because they just
Yeah.
dropped and they said the tickets just went on sale today for Doomsday. So I'm trying to decide, should I watch
Oh,
all
really?
the yeah,
Even
the
though it's
tickets
not till Christmas?
yeah, the tickets just went on sale today. So I'm trying to decide, like,
You
hey,
know,
should I go back and watch all of these movies and TV shows, or should I just, I don't know, just watch some of it and just like, because some of this, like I said, this stuff, some of these stuff I don't even watch anymore because it's like I said, there's a few good ones here and there.
yeah, then it becomes ridiculous. The Marvel movies that I loved, and I love so many of them, exist because, like, I didn't need to have read 8,000 comic books or watched all of the TV shows and films in order to understand what was happening. I think there's a line. It's great to have little Easter eggs and fan service hidden here and there. I love that. Or if it's something like, I'm a Buffy the Vampire Slayer fan of the whole series, and like, it really, watching the later seasons isn't going to be as rich unless you've watched all the other episodes leading up to them. It's
Mhm.
true. But that was back when there was one episode a week. Also,
Wow.
like, you know, can you imagine? Like, you didn't have a chance. You couldn't binge it. You were watching one thing, and you were gonna digest that, and then you would see the next thing.
Mm,
And also, you missed a few. That's okay. You're not gonna miss the whole gist of the story just because you didn't see 3 years of television. You know?
that's 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 amazing. But yeah, I'll have to decide if I really want to go back and watch all this stuff because I don't know.
Right. No, I'm a little done. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna get some more water. I'll be right back.
Sure thing.
Okay.
All right. All right. Well, we can go ahead and get into the next section, which is section 3. So career across the screen. And as you just mentioned, you just mentioned Jessica Jones. So this question is going to be
Yeah.
about her as well. So now you've appeared across very different worlds of television and film, from dramas and procedurals to projects
Yeah.
like Jessica Jones, Poker Face, and Fallout. Now, when you're entering an established world for only an episode or a smaller role, now how do you create a character who feels like they had an entire life before the audience met them?
It's a good question. You're asking good questions, Philip.
Hey,
I'm
listen. If I don't come with receipts, then what am I doing this for?
But I like your questions. It's good. These are good. The truth is, they're really good acting class questions in a way. So if there are any acting students listening, this is good. Because it's true when you're a guest star, which is primarily what I've been doing the last so many years. Yeah, you have to come in. You have to come in with an idea of the character. The truth is, it can begin and should begin in the audition. Because unless something drastically changes between what you get on the set and what you got for the audition, that's when you start to get your ideas of who this is. And that's actually part of what we learned in grad school was the idea that you've got to bring an inner life. That was the phrase that we used. What is the character's inner life? That's the stuff that's probably never going to be said. But if you know what that is, it's going to inform everything else that you do, so that even if you've only got 5 lines, you're bringing, like you said, a whole person to this. Now, I don't know if I've done my homework as well as I should have for all of these things, but I know for something like Poker Face, it was a lot easier because I got so much information. Although, speaking of dialects, I did not know where it took place until the costume fitting the day before we shot the first scene. I didn't know that it took place in Tennessee, and I was like, oh, I'm glad I'm good at accents and dialects because I didn't know that this took place in Tennessee. They clearly didn't care whether there was an actual Tennessee accent for the thing, but I was like, I think that my character grew up here. I don't think I emigrated here. I think when you're playing an Asian American in the South, especially I was playing a mom, it's like, all right, I'm of a certain generation. The likelihood is that I was born here. And so I had all this information. I drive a tow truck. I work at the arcade. I'm a single mom, and my kid's a race car driver. Like then you start putting pieces together. No one told me this. I just did this for myself. And also then you get some ideas, like when they were doing my hair. I'm like, oh wow, we're spending an hour and a half on my hair for this character. That's a long time. But I also know that for some ladies, and you can tell me if I'm wrong about this, Philip, but like in the South, there was a phrase that I used to hear when I was younger, the higher the hair, the closer to God, right? I don't know. Have you heard that phrase?
I never heard it. This is my first time hearing this.
I heard that when I was younger, and I was like, that's amazing. Because it certainly felt that way in that show. It was like, oh, all right. Higher the hair, the closer to God. And I feel like so it told me things about her. And then you kind of just let that play in your mind. But you have to make decisions, and that can begin in the audition. What economic status what background do you come from? Are you married or not? What is your sexuality? What is are you hot-tempered? Are you patient? Are you, with something like Jessica Jones, none of that information was there. It never got talked about. But this is a lawyer whose ethics and morality are questionable. And when you've got a character like that, then you can start making all kinds of fun decisions in your head about This woman is pretty materialistic. Maybe she cares about stuff that, you know, it's the dollar signs and the material things she cares about. Not necessarily, but maybe she does. Maybe that's why she makes the decisions she makes. Maybe she's power hungry. Maybe she's got something to prove to her parents who abandoned her emotionally, and so this is her way of getting back at them because they were mean. You know?
And it's like sometimes you have to put your own like personality and experiences in these TV shows as well. Because pretty
Well,
much,
you're going to.
yeah,
You're going
exactly.
to. You're not leaving yourself at the door. It's always you there. It's just, as I was saying before, again, like if the character's here and you're here, you may not be leaving a lot of yourself behind, but you might have to pick up a whole bunch of other stuff along the way to add to it. You know?
That's
If you
interesting.
if you leave too much of yourself behind, then you start bullshitting.
Mm, that's true. And the other thing too, because I know you've appeared in a few shows where it's like you're just like the smaller side characters. But one thing I've been telling people lately is y'all do not underestimate the side characters because they also have stories to be told as well. Like, shoot, can I give you an example?
Yeah,
Yeah.
please.
Take the Arkham series, the Batman Arkham series I got over here. Each
Okay.
time in the games, you have to thugs us having these discussions when I enter a room or whatnot. I let them talk. I was like, "Hey, I'll kick your ass in a second. I want to listen first." So, they come up with all these conspiracies and conversations and stuff like, "Hey, that builds character." And some people never thought about that before. I
Mm-hmm.
played the series so many times, and Kevin Conroy passed away 4 years ago.
That's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
he passed away right after I completed Arkham Knight.
Oh,
I wake up the next morning, he's gone.
man.
So I was like, it must have been a bad omen.
Oh no, no. You could look at it that way, or you could look at it as he completed what he set out to do, and now he can rest.
That works too. But yeah, I just want to relate that because as I say, even though
Yeah.
some actors we don't get like those really big lead roles or everything, but the small roles do have a lot of story to be told about as well. You just don't see it yet until you really start paying attention.
Well, if you like a story at all, unless it's a total, unless it's like The Martian, which even then I didn't actually see The Martian, but I understand Matt Damon is alone on screen for a large part of it. But but there are plenty of one-person shows in theater, so there's that. But unless it's that, there's there won't be if there's 8 people in a play, or if there are 20 characters in a TV show, they can't all be leads, of course. But if you like the thing that you're watching, it's because all of those other actors are doing their job to be full people. You know, so no, very rarely is it 100%, but every once in a while you're in something. I did a play a few years back, and a fellow actor gave a really great compliment afterwards. He said, "This cast is great. There's no weak links in this cast." And I remember thinking, I felt the same way. I was biased, of course, because I was in it. But I remember thinking, because that's not always true. Sometimes
Hmm.
you're in a show and you're like, some are stronger than others. But I was doing this one show and it was so satisfying because it was across the board. I trust every single person on this stage equally. And every once in a while you're watching a show and you're like, this ensemble is so great. They don't all have equal sized parts, but they're all part of the story. The story's not going to work unless you've got 8, 12, 20 full people inhabiting the screen for however short or long a time. That's what.
Absolutely. I agree with that 100%. Um,
Yeah.
and since you mentioned, Asian American, this actually goes into the next section here, talking about
Oh yeah.
representation and creating change here.
Mm,
Before we continue, we're halfway now. Are you enjoying our discussion up to this point?
I sure am. I sure am. You're asking such great questions. Do you prefer Philip or Phil?
Whichever one works for you.
No, it's your name, honey. You choose. You choose.
All
What
right,
do you
Philip.
like?
Philip
You
works.
like Philip.
Mhm.
Great. Okay. Yes, I think you're asking good questions.
I try my best. I was up pretty late last night, make sure I had everything.
Oh,
I was
I
hoping till 1 o'clock in the morning.
oh my gosh.
Hmm.
Well, I regularly stay up till 1, but not working. Usually just kind of puttering. So.
That works too. So, next up is called representation and career change. So now, let's see if correct me if I got this right, but you helped co-found the Asian American Performers Action Coalition.
Yeah,
Is
you
that
did.
correct?
You sure did, and you did your homework. Very good.
Okay.
Yes, yeah, I co-founded that with a bunch of other folks. When was that? 2011, I think, was our first year. And I took a hiatus from it a few years ago, not because of any of the people, Lord knows, and certainly not because the work is done by any means. Just for my own personal sense of mental health, because I was spending so much time being angry that I was starting to feel like that wasn't healthy for me. But for many, many years, I was part of putting together the work that we did to really try what we could to increase, the visibility of and greater representation of Asian Americans in theater. Because, gotta tell you, for as forward as New York theater likes to think that it is, it's really not in a lot of ways. And we managed to move the needle in some ways, but it's still not great. I got to tell you,
Mm,
it's really still not great.
okay. And that continues the question too. When you
Yeah.
look at the industry now, what progress are you generally proud to have witnessed, and where do you think the industry still has important work to do?
Oh boy. Um, I'm I'm always proud when there is. I'm proud that there has been a little bit more. I would say there's been increased visibility. I would say I think it's especially increasing visibility in TV and film for the younger generations. I see more and more TV shows and films where there's lead characters or big supporting characters that are Asian American or Asian, and I'm like, oh, cool, okay. Like when I was growing up, we didn't have any, young romance dramas for Asian American women. Now there's like Summer I Turned Pretty, Never Have I Ever. Oh, there was that other one. Maybe I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. I think it was based on a Korean drama, or maybe it was Korean creators. But anyway, it's a Korean American lead, I think, the young lady. But like, I didn't have any of that growing up at all. So that's definitely progress. I would say that's definitely great. I loved that. Did you see that movie? I think it's called Yesterday. I think Danny Boyle did it, where it's Himesh Patel is a British actor, and he has this accident at the same time that the world kind of has this sort of EMP event where all of a sudden nobody can remember the Beatles songs, any Beatles songs. They've never heard of the Beatles
Mm.
except for him. And he's been trying to be a recording artist and trying to be a success. And then he finally just plays this Beatles song. No one's ever heard of it. And suddenly he becomes a big star. Like, have you not seen this movie? You should
I
check out
haven't
this
yet.
movie. It is so sweet. I love it so much. And what I love, it's sweet all around. It's such a great it's like a great premise. They do such a good job with it. It's funny, it's heartwarming. And the actor is so good, and he's freaking Asian. And I love that he is this South Asian British actor for no reason. It's not it's just because he is perfect for the part. I That is where I want to see the industry go. I want New York theater to stop thinking, oh, if we have Asians on stage, it's because we're telling a story about Asia. So many of the plays that are taking place, it's like, well, this one takes place in Korea, or it's about the immigrants coming over from China, or it's all this, or it's The King and I again, or some musical that's about Asia. It's like, guys, we've been here for many generations now, and we're fucking American. You can just put us as actors in your plays where the characters are American. And if it's not specifically about their cultural identity, we can just see if we're right for the part. It's okay. It's really okay. That I feel like is still a bridge to cross. It's getting crossed more. Oddly, for my own career, the biggest parts I've had a chance to play have not been in New York. They've been in regional theaters, and nobody cares. I, I was lucky enough to do two huge parts out in San Diego at the Old Globe. Nobody gave a shit that I was Asian American. You know, I got to play. I did a stage production of Double Indemnity. I don't know if you're familiar with noir. Like,
Like like black and white stuff, kind of stuff. Yeah.
yeah, it's a genre that it was filmed in black and white certainly then, but it can also sort of apply to. It's also the mood. It's also the subject matter. But there was a Double Indemnity was first a novel, and then it became a film, and then these guys turned it into a stage play. The film, Barbara Stanwyck is the femme fatale in that. The whole phrase femme fatale sort of, I believe it comes out of noir. This idea of this like seductive, morally questionable woman, and I got to play her on stage, and I'm like, cool, because the director thought I was right for the part.
Mm.
I just think that needs to happen a lot more. Like when Nicole Scherzinger, it's true she was leader of a pop band, but when she won the Tony for playing Norma Desmond in Sunset Boulevard a couple of years ago, it's like, yes, that is awesome. And she's Filipina, which is super cool. But like, I was so glad that happened, and I'm like, that's great. Keep going. Keep doing that. You can keep going. That's what I would say to the industry. Keep going in that direction. It doesn't all have to be about our immigrant parents. No offense to our immigrant parents. We love our immigrant parents, but we've been in America for a really long time now.
Okay. Yeah.
That's my soapbox.
I was I was actually thinking about it as you were responding to me. Like, yeah, I will say this, Now let me ask you this. Have you seen the movie Sinners?
Oh yes. Oh,
Yes.
I love that movie.
Yeah, there's a lot of track. Sometimes there's a lot of backlash with the film and everything because
Mm,
I saw a reel, and let me say this first, Angel. Everybody has opinions. Everybody
of
has
course.
opinions. You know, I've been seeing a lot of news articles. I think I read this one article where Hollywood was in, like, it was kind of hard for like they didn't like win as many awards when they had awards. I mean, Michael B. Jordan like they won a few awards, but they didn't win like all the awards for they were nominated because it was 15 nominations
Right. And it
earlier
was
this
tough
year.
competition that year.
Yeah, and I think what I saw is like, they didn't like how and I'm not even 100% sure. I maybe I need to keep reading about it some more because Hollywood is a predominantly white neighborhood up there in California.
Hmm.
And they were thinking, are they trying to portray white people as vampires and all that stuff? So, and the thing is, sometimes they like think too deep about it, and this goes back to what I'm saying. Like, my mom got on to me today about reading too much into the situation. I think, some people who like do all these movies and they and people who are like watching and go to these award shows, hey, you guys are reading too much in about. We're not trying to portray y'all as vampires or demons. We're just here to make a film, to express some of the stuff of, Ryan Coogler's done some amazing work.
Yes.
I still want to meet him one of these days and have a
I would love
chat
to
with
work
him.
with him. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, it's just something that I've been thinking about as we're trying to like bring more representation. Because I don't know
Mm.
if you saw this other article 2 weeks ago, but they canceled Wonder Man after one season, and I was
Which
trying to figure out why. Like, but go
maybe
ahead.
it's
What were you
not
about to
enough
say?
people. Well, with Wonder Man, which I actually is on my list of things to get to because I've heard such great things about it, but probably because not enough people knew about it or and watched it. I didn't even know it was a thing until I heard about it on a like someone's top 10 list of things that they loved, and they loved Wonder Man. They were like, this is underrated. Everybody should see this. But it was long after it had already come out.
Mm,
But to get back to Sinners, I actually have a counter thought to that.
yeah,
With
go
when it
ahead.
comes to Sinners, not every um, s- doesn't apply to everything, but to Sinners, I think when it comes to the argument about white people as vampires, if they're saying that, then they're not actually looking deep enough. Because what Coogler and was he the sole, he wasn't the sole writer on it. I can't remember who else wrote on it, or was it him? Just him. But let me just say the writers because I can't remember right now. But like all the filmmakers were doing something very specific. It wasn't that they were like the white people are evil and blah blah blah. They were Irish, and they were Irish for a very specific reason. And that line, which is only the one line, but it's such a crucial line towards the end when he's about to turn. Is it Sammy? Is that the protagonist's the young when he's about to turn him? Like
Yeah.
he's got him and he's about to turn him. The Irish guy who I forget his name, the character's name. But he says, because Sammy is invoking the Lord's Prayer, he's trying to save himself with, this Christian religion he's been given.
Right.
And the Irish vampire's like, oh, right. That's our oppressors gave us that language hundreds of years ago. I'm familiar with that. That is what he was going for with that. There's a reason he's Irish, because the Irish got fucked over in the UK, not exactly the same, but very, very much to a similar degree as black people got fucked over in this country. I didn't know so much of Irish history until recently, and then when I learned about a lot of it, I was like, are you kidding me? Oh my God. It's horrifying. So the fact that they're the ones who are vampires, it's like these oppressed people came over, they had no choice, they got turned. And so this is all that they're left with. However, they both have these musical traditions that are their souls, and the souls are trying to live on. They've been vamped, as they would say in Buffy, when you get turned into a vampire. But I'm not prepared to give a whole treatise on sinners and why I think it's so
It's
deep.
fine.
Like this is they are not vampires because they're evil. They are vampires because they got their souls sucked out of them. And this is what's happening to them now. This is like the music is the ultimate expression of the soul, right? And supposedly you lose your soul, you become a vampire, you become a demon, you lose your soul. And I actually feel like in some ways these characters are trying to reclaim it. Is what they're trying to do. They're not trying to, there's so much in common. There's so much that Irish folk music and Black American music have in common if they just stop accusing each other of all kinds of awful things. Anyway, that's my
Yeah.
2 cents. That's my 2 cents on that movie.
And I like the 2 cents. And it's good that us as individuals we are being aware of these things, especially in places like California and New York, because we never know what people are thinking about certain movies, and it's like we have to educate you
Yeah.
on these things to make sure y'all got a full understanding.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So anybody who's had those thoughts about Sinners, I would encourage them to go listen to Ryan Coogler, get interviewed, bone up on your history of Irish oppression for centuries. you know, I
Yeah.
learned things watching that movie. I didn't realize that there was this whole population of Chinese immigrants that had come over. I love that he had these characters in this movie. He did more for Asian representation in that movie than anybody else did this year. Or that year in major films. I'm like, thank you. Unless you want to consider anything Dwayne Johnson does. AAPI representation, which I suppose you could. Because he is very proud of his Samoan heritage, so
There you go. Well, let's get on to the next question, and then we'll be at section 5, which is actually First Minister Jinn and Gears of War.
yes, I was wondering if you're gonna.
Yes, I was. Listen, I don't want it just to be about Gears of War now. We're talking about you. We're talking about you. I'm trying to be I'm trying to be respectful of you.
Okay.
You're still a person, okay?
Yes.
Now, there's a difference between being invisible and actually being given complex stories to tell. Now, as someone who's watched the industry evolve, what does meaningful representation look like to you beyond simply seeing more diverse faces on a screen?
Thank you. Great question. Great question. It means either centering our stories or putting us in the center of a story that could be universally told. It's like I was saying, you know, uh, the that movie yesterday, which I highly recommend to anybody who hasn't seen it. It's just such a wonderful treat for the
I
heart.
added to the list.
Yeah, it's a feel good. It is a feel good, funny, wonderful movie, I think. And you know that so he's it's not about an Asian British Asian person or in terms of it's not about his heritage, although there are actors playing his parents who are in it. They're hilarious, by the way. They have these great scenes. So that's one way. The other thing is to, if there is an Asian American story, center that. We have lots of stories about a white family going through this, or a white person going through this thing, or this romantic whatever, and it's like center us. That also means getting Asian American writers and centering them and going, you know what? I bet you people of all stripes are going to relate to the story if it's good. If the story is good, I mean, there's a reason we, children of color, when we were kids growing up, identified with all these white stories because they were good, because they did something that got to us that was universal. Well, you know what? It works the other way too. You can have protagonists of color in stories that are not about our ethnicity, and it's going to be okay. Because if they're well written and well performed and well edited, directed, etc., everyone will get on board. But if you keep hiring the same 12 white people all the time, it just doesn't.
Stick.
Oh my God. It just is. I just. It makes me crazy. Yeah. Did I answer what was your question? I don't even remember what your question was. Was it that? Is like, what does it look like to
Yeah,
have?
what's it look like? I think you
Yeah.
answered most of it.
Yeah. I actually think that actor I was talking about, I believe his name is Himesh Patel, is in the Odyssey. Because all this stuff, I haven't seen the Odyssey yet, but all of the promo stuff and all the
Mm,
clips. And I'm like, I didn't see no Asian people in it.
yeah. My parents and
That's.
my sister saw that movie. I need to check it
Oh,
out. But thing is,
yeah.
I actually took them. I took my parents to go see Spider-Man on the
Oh, yeah.
same weekend because I
Yeah.
wanted to see Spider-Man, of course.
Yeah.
But go ahead, continue.
Well, no, it's just I think that Himesh Patel. If you know what, I gotta look this up before I keep saying his name because if I'm getting his name wrong, I'm gonna be so. So give me
Hey,
one sec.
hey,
What?
hey! I like I
Yeah,
said, I'm not the only one. Listen, you're not the only one. Like I said, when I messed up on that word, correct me if I get it wrong. So you just listen.
but
Don't
I'm no,
worry.
I'm right though. I am totally right, and he is in the Odyssey. Okay, good. And I'm right about yesterday, and I'm right about. Okay, and he's worked with Nolan before in Tenet, apparently, which I haven't seen, but apparently, so okay, so he's an Asian person or of Asian descent in the Odyssey. I'm like, if you're gonna have all these waspy American people in there as Greeks, which already I'm just like, I'm not sure this is helping me. There's a
Um,
point past which then it's like, yeah, it's a universal story, but now you have Jason Bourne, Batman, and Catwoman and Spider-Man telling this story, and I'm like, I kind of, I'd love to see just some other people. I'd love to see any other people in there. If it truly is a universal story, I think we can handle it, you know?
mhm.
And I'd love if it truly is universal and you're truly casting diversely. I hate it when people use the word diversity for one person. I'm like, first of all, that's not grammatically correct. Diversity implies that there's a number, more than two, usually more than three or four, a number of things. Then diversity isn't two colors, it's multiple colors. People see one black person in a sea of white faces and they're like, well, that's diverse. I'm like, no, that is a token black person in a sea of white faces. That is not diversity, that's tokenism. If you truly want diversity in this world that is 1/3 brown people, then you have to have a lot more brown people in your casts. Otherwise, y'all are hypocrites. That's all. Anyway,
Hey,
sorry. It's
you
very
know,
easy for me to get on this soapbox, and I can stay here a very long time.
again, again, I want y'all, like I said, I want y'all to preach.
Well,
Preach.
not the right person then.
There you go. Well, it's time for the last section, which is
Okay.
about First Minister Jinn and Gears of War. First off, I want to apologize. I did not play the game like I said I was going to before I got on to talk to you. The thing,
Oh,
well, I played the game multiple times in the past, but the thing is, I'm actually playing the whole Gears of War series before I get ready for Gears of War E-Day. I've been doing the beta test. E-Day looks good. I mean, t- trust me, it's great.
okay.
So, but thing is after I finished Gears of War 3, I went out of town to another convention. I was supposed to start Gears of War 4. When I came back, I was just tired and I just pivoted to another game to play or something. But this weekend, I'm going to start Gears of War 4, okay?
Listen, I'm going to say right now, not only do you have nothing to apologize for in terms of that, I'm the one who should apologize because I'm about to disappoint, hopefully not you, but someone probably. I've never played the game, so I don't actually know. I've seen my bits in it, and I've seen other bits of the game, but I don't have a game. I don't have the technology.
Xbox. Don't have
I don't have an
Xbox.
Xbox. I don't have a console. I don't have anything. So,
Oh,
I know.
yeah.
And the thing is, if I did have that, I would never leave my house. So I, so I will confess to anyone who cares about the game, I'm very sorry to disappoint. I've never played the game. So please do not apologize.
Well, hey, it's not your cup. Well, hey, if it's not your cup of tea, then I'm not going to force it, okay?
And it's not that because I've played video games in the past and I will, if I were to do it, I would become addicted to it. So I, I don't do
I understand.
it.
Well, let's go ahead and talk about
But we
First
can still
Minister.
talk about it if you want to.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Let's go ahead and talk about it. So
Yeah.
this is going to be a two-part question. So I'm going to try to go as slow as I can, okay?
Okay.
Now, then there's First Minister Mina Jinn.
Yes.
Gears of War is filled with enormous personalities: Marcus Phoenix, JD, Kay, Dell. But Jen just doesn't need to be physically on the battlefield to command a scene. We've seen that, of course. Now, how did you find the authority in her voice without turning her into a stereotypical cold or authoritarian leader? Part two, what's fascinating about Jen is that depending on whose perspective you're following, she can look like either an antagonist or a leader desperately trying to prevent humanity from collapsing again.
Mhm.
When you performed her, did you approach Jen as someone who genuinely believes that what she's doing is necessary for humanity's survival?
Hmm. This is okay, good. So I think I can remember both parts of the question. Um, well, as to the first part of the question, I guess I should thank you for saying that it's not a stereotypical portrayal
Mm-hmm.
because I wasn't sure that I wasn't. The writing is, well, I had that whole monologue. Not everyone playing the game may look at the lore, the pre-lap stuff that's all the history of the world. But I had this long ass speech. I don't know if you saw that part of it,
I
but I
did.
had this. Okay, so I felt like they didn't write anything that was overtly villainous, but
Mm-hmm.
in some ways, if you think that my portrayal is less stereotypical, thank you. I always think I can do better. I'm sure, like listening back on some of my clips, I'm like, I wish that I could have given some other more nuanced reads, but sometimes they don't want that. What you do in the studio, and you may have discussed this with other voice actors you've had on your show, is so you're in the studio, you're not with the other actors, so you're not actually interacting with other actors. At least I'm not. Maybe some of the others are for some of their stuff, but they're going to ask you for a bunch of different takes. So they're like, "Can you do one that's more like this?" And now can you do one that's more like this and more like this? And so you do your best to give them the variety they're looking for, but ultimately the take that they choose is going to be on them. So you can try to do more nuanced takes, but if they want something that's much more hard ass, they're going to use those takes. And it's your job to deliver what they're asking for. So if you think my portrayal is not too stereotypical, I'm very grateful, because it means they and I did a good job of our stuff. But it's directly related to the second part of your question. And you'll hear much better actors than I talk about this when they've played villainous roles. You're not thinking of yourself as the villain. I feel like the truly great villainous performances, except for maybe, and God rest him, but maybe Heath Ledger would have spoke differently about it with the Joker because of who the Joker is in that movie. You're not thinking, I'm the villain. You're thinking, I'm, as First Minister Jinn, it's my job to lead. This is the best solution. This is the solution that makes the most sense to me. You're not thinking, I'm evil. You're thinking, I have to save my people. This is how I'm choosing to do it. The writers gave me this set of things. It's like, well, these are my choices. So what your job then is, as an actor, is to find it within yourself to defend. I had an acting teacher once say, you have to be a lawyer for your character. You've got to defend all of that stuff. But lawyer might not even be strong enough. You are the, advocate. So maybe that's why she said lawyer. But you're defending your actions the way anybody defends their own actions. The difference between the hero and the villain should not be, the twirling mustache, it's not, it shouldn't be that. It should be the writing. It should be the writing that says, this set of circumstances, we can identify with this set of circumstances. We don't identify with this set of circumstances. That's why I make an exception for something like the Joker, because he says deliberately, no, I am an agent of chaos. I want this. He may not use the word villainy, but he knows he's the shadow to Batman. He's like, you and I are two creatures coming from very similar places. But if you go one movie forward to Bane's not going to think of him. He doesn't think he's a villain. He thinks he's the solution to society's problems.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So so to play something effectively, you have to believe it.
Wow.
And defend it.
Oh, of course. And sometimes, fans be seeing characters differently, seeing hey,
Sure.
you really did this thing and everything. Because I'll give you another example where you have, I think, of course, who Laura Bailey is. You were in there in Gears 5 with her.
Well, but
So,
I didn't act with anyone else. So yeah, but
yeah, there's this, and I had a discussion with somebody in GameStop about this, when I was looking at the games, when she played that, really, antagonist, and what was it? Was it The Walking Dead or was it, The Last of Us? I think it was The Last of Us. Yeah, she kept, when she did that scene, fans did not like how she, her character killed the main protagonist in the Telltale series, so she kept getting death threats or something, and I was trying to figure out why y'all sending her death threats. It's just a game. And it's
You're saying the actress got death threats?
yeah, Laura Bailey got death threats, and they even threatened her kid as well. And Travis Willingham had to step in and tell them to stop. And I was like, yes, yes,
Was
tell
over
them.
a game?
Yes. And that's when I saw First Minister Jinn, I was hey, she may be a bad person. And listen, like I said, it's just a game, but she's someone, she may be a bad person sometimes, but
Yeah.
she's someone who is just trying to save humanity, whatever it takes. If there's just sacrifices to be made.
But you also find out in Gears 5, you get a little bit more backstory, which I appreciated, because it's she has personal reasons also for making the choices that she did. And I'm going to go back to that other actress and the real actor and what happened to her in a second. But but yet it helps if you have to play someone that people aren't liking. And the truth is, you don't really know who people are going to like and aren't going to until the thing comes out, until the game or the movie or the whatever comes out. But if you have really personal reasons for doing something, that makes the story richer and more complex. It's one thing if you just hate someone. I was watching a video about Game of Thrones recently, and like Joffrey, I don't know if you watched Game of Thrones or
My
read
my
the
folks do. My
right.
whole family does. Listen, I barely watch any of the stuff they be watching. I need to broaden my horizons because, like I said, me and my dad just started Daredevil Born Again. I haven't watched that in a year, so I'm trying to
Yeah.
watch more stuff with them.
And also, you might like the books. I mean, that's what I started. I didn't. I had read the first four books before seeing the show.
Okay.
But Prince Joffrey is pretty famously. People hate him. He is very barely redeemable. I hope that the actor did not receive death threats because it's like he's the actor. He's not that actual person. That's a fake person that got. It's a fictional character. Um, but but the characters to me that are more interesting are the ones where you're like, well, they've done some really terrible things, but oh, I actually identify with this other part of him, and that's up to the writers to give them that complexity to the character. I, to anyone out there who has done it or knows of people who are sending nasty letters to actors, um, please try to remember we're doing jobs. We are not those people. Those people are fictional. If you're starting to blur the line between what's real and what isn't real, put the gaming console down, turn off the TV, go outside, interact with some real people. Take a walk, go to a store. Going to stores and markets is great because you have to interact with people that you don't know, but you have to interact with them.
Yeah.
Start a
And remember,
conversation with a stranger. These are fictional characters. They are not real. And we are simply doing a job of portraying them, not
exactly.
us. They're not us. So leave us alone. Okay?
Exactly. I always be telling people, and some of the VAs actually like this comment that I made when we had a lot of incidences with fans and stuff. I'd be like, because usually when they come to like conventions or other big events, I'd be saying like, so y'all respect the voice actors, okay? Taking the time out of their day, spending money out of their pockets to come and see us, because you guys are spending money.
Yeah. Right. What do you mean? When are we not spending money? We're not spending money to. What do you mean?
No, 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 no. I'm saying like you all spend on, like getting plane tickets, all that stuff.
Oh, oh,
That's what I
oh,
meant. That's what I meant.
oh.
Wait, you heard me say not spending money?
That's what I thought you said. I thought you said you're
No,
because
I
you're
didn't
not
say
spending.
that.
No,
I
we
didn't
are
say that.
spending money.
I did not say that. No, I did not say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes, yeah, you guys are spending money. That's what I'm saying because you guys are. So that's what I be telling them.
Yeah. It's well. You mean the actors, or do you mean as actors, like for the jobs and stuff?
I'm just saying in general.
Oh, in general. I see.
In
I see.
general,
Sorry.
you guys are still people at the end of the day.
Yeah. Oh, I see. Sorry. Now I got it. I got it. I got it.
It's okay if
Yeah.
I need to explain it again. I can.
Well, no, it's yeah, we're doing a job that this was the character we were hired to play. Our job, and if you're really good at your job and the character is supposed to be hated, then we did our job well, but it was a job, and what's happening to you, the viewer or gamer, is you're blurring the line between reality and fiction. That's not good. That's not a good sign for your brain. So try to feed your brain with some actual real life and sunshine and
Fiction
get your
and reality.
yeah, yeah, and just like and if you really have a problem with the ideas, write a letter to the writers and ask them what what made you want to put this idea out there. But before you write that letter, ask yourself what about it that idea bothers you if it's just an idea?
It exactly. So, well,
Just saying.
yeah. Well, now I got another two-part question, and then we'll be at the finale. Okay.
Okay, Okay,
So
sure.
this is dealing with Gears 5, because I know the first part is like Gears of War 4, but this one's going to be dealing with Gears 5 because I think the theme of Gears 5 was kind of like, trust is being shattered, and how can we try to like trust each other again, while also trying to understand the true threat to Sarah as well.
Mm.
So one of the biggest sources of tension surrounding Jen is Settlement 2, because this caused JD and Dell to go AWOL from the COG after what happened.
Right.
The player initially hears about what happened largely through other characters, particularly the outsiders, as we've seen in Gears of War 4 as well. But it's let's while Jin represents the government that has to live with the consequences, how much of Jin's defensiveness and distrust do you think comes from knowing that every decision she makes could determine whether this fragile civilization survives?
Mm.
Part two. Jin's relationship with JD Fenix becomes especially interesting in Gears 5.
Yeah.
Now, because we learned more about JD's involvement in Settlement 2, because he's the one who ordered, to shoot the civilians in a protest.
Mm.
And eventually see him working closely with the COG again. Now, how do you interpret Jin's relationship with JD? Now, does she
Right.
see him as primarily just as a soldier, someone she can mold into the kind of leader the COG needs, or perhaps someone carrying consequences and responsibilities that she understands better than most?
Oh, I fear disappointing you mightily with this question because you're asking very detailed questions about a script I haven't read in,
Years.
yeah, since it came out.
7 years. It's been 7 years.
Is it 7 years?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Take your time. Take your time.
Well, you know what? This is what I should have done to prep, and this is my bad because I knew you were going to ask about it, but I'm trying to think if did they give me a script?
Yeah, I
Well,
kind of tripped you up with it, didn't
no,
I?
no, no, because this is the thing is like let me look through my email to see. Okay, so I don't know how much time you've got because I don't want to waste your time here.
No, no, you're fine. You're fine.
Let me
You're
see if
fine.
I've got some old scripts because 7 years, you say. So this is what year are we? So 19? Was it 2019?
Yes, 2019 is when it came out. Hey, I keep track of the games now.
Yeah, I mean, but here's the thing is I think copy of Gears of War 4. Oh wait, wait, wait. Oh, that was oh my gosh. I don't see the script. Oh wait, maybe I went back too far. I'm trying to see if I still have the script somewhere.
Hey, time flies, don't it?
Well, and many, 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 many scripts and characters since then. But I'm remembering that you realize, oh, she's got a personal relationship with JD. That I remember.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I'm gonna have to ask you to, oh, well, I don't see any place where I have the script. I see a lot of emails about Gears, but not the script. I'm so sorry. Okay. So your question was, do you think her defensiveness comes from? Because yeah, I remember feeling. I remember the thing that I mentioned before. What I do remember is there was the story of her pregnancy and the backstory of her own pregnancy, and also yeah, that she was more defensive. Which is the powerless position when you're in an argument. If you're feeling defensive, it's because you're feeling disempowered. And uh, and so I remember appreciating that because I'm like, okay, so she's much more human. Like I remember with Gears of War 4, I was like, wow, she really is kind of, it's appropriate that her face is on all these robots because she's kind of acting like a robot. Like she's not accessing any part of her heart for any of these decisions,
Mm-hmm.
But you see more of her heart in the scenes in Gears 5. And I remember feeling like, this is good. Not that it's great that a person be in a defensive position, but I think, yeah, sometimes you're really convinced you're on the right track of action until you see it go horribly wrong.
Hmm.
Sometimes you're doubting yourself and it still goes horribly wrong. And sometimes you're not doubting yourself at all and then it goes horribly wrong. And then you are in shock because you realize that was that all wrong? And that's a really interesting place to be. Oh, now you're making me wish I could go back and re-record it all. with that with that take on it. Ah, that would have been interesting. And part two of your question was very detailed. It was, what did you ask? It was about JD, right? It was about, what did you ask?
Yeah, I was saying Jen's relationship with JD Phoenix becomes especially
Yeah.
interesting in
Oh,
Gears 5.
yeah.
And because we learn more about JD's involvement with Settlement 2 and
Ah,
eventually
right.
see him working closely with the COG again, how do you interpret Jen's relationship with JD? Does she see him primarily as a soldier, someone she can mold into the kind of leader the COG needs, or perhaps someone carrying consequences and responsibilities that she understands better than most?
Oh gosh, you're testing my memory. I'm so sorry that I can't answer this question well.
Like I said, just do the best you can.
Okay. I remember actually asking the writers though at the time, just being like, what's the nature of their relationship? Like what happened? Like what's their history? And what does she want for him? I remember having those conversations. I just can't remember what got said and what happened. Because I can't remember. You probably know the answer to this better than I do. Because I can't remember if she entrusts, if the end of their argument is that she trusts him with more responsibility, or if she doesn't. You tell me. Do you remember? Like,
Yeah, I remember. I
what do
played
you
the game
remember?
multiple times. I think
Yeah,
what happened was after what happened at Summon 2, when JD
yeah.
lied to Kate and Dell about his involvement,
Hmm.
because, now he's more darker because he got scarred and everything. His arm was burned. So
Hmm.
now it's like he's more trusted to Jen because now she just promoted him to captain. So,
Right.
and
That's.
that's,
Oh,
yeah.
go ahead. Keep going. Keep going. Yeah.
So yeah, so now like for the rest of the game, Jen trusts JD a lot more after what happened, because now it's like he had to push his friends away from him.
Oh, I see. Right. And is she? And you're saying, is she trying to mold him into the way that she was?
Hmm.
If I remember correctly, but you should not trust my memory because it's really faulty for this. It's because even though the game came out 7 years ago, it was longer than that ago that I recorded it. So, but I think that I remember. I mean, do you think that he does become more like Jin in
Oh,
terms of
she does. She does. He does. In
he
like in Act
does?
Two, in Act Two, 4 months later after what happened to Son
Yeah,
2, he does become more like her.
yeah, and that's. You're making me wish I could go back and re-record it because it would be so interesting to play around with this idea of like, maybe you shouldn't be like me. Maybe I don't want you to be like me because it's not so great. Like how my leadership hasn't necessarily resulted in all the best things, so maybe you shouldn't be like me. That might have been interesting to play with. But if it's more effective for the game overall, that he kind of takes a darker path, do you think that that's true? Do you think it's true of the game? Like it's much more interesting that he has this change in his
It'd be
character?
it's much more interesting that way, to be honest. But it would be cool to see a different see a different path to see how it worked
Yeah.
out.
Yeah. I It's always tricky, right? When you've got a protagonist that is, you trust to make certain kinds of decisions up to a certain point, and then something happens, and following them, if they go down a darker path, can be very tricky. So many different IPs have done this, and we can sit here and think of the successful ones and the less than successful ones, but I guess it would really be you guys who love those games that can decide whether or not that's more effective. whether you like it.
I still think it would be interesting to see that different storyline if it's
Yeah.
possible. But you never know. We could revisit it at a later time, but we will see what
Okay.
happens. But I just want to throw those really deep like home runs at you. See,
Well, I think I whiffed him, but I appreciate you at least giving it a shot.
hey, I try my best with these things. So,
Yeah, yeah. I'm
so
just sorry that I don't have better answers for you.
hey, it's okay. It's okay. We just that's why we try to brainstorm a little bit.
Yeah.
Hey, we don't come an answer, that's fine. We try something else. So, so last question to wrap this up, okay? So
Yeah.
the question to leave with. Now, you've been a Broadway performer, musician, television, and film actor, video game performer, and an advocate who helped push for change in the industry. Now, if you could sit across from the yourself from before, who was just beginning this journey, not knowing about company, Jen, Fallout, or anything that was ahead, what would you tell her about the life and career she was about to build?
Such a great question. Thank you for that. I would say be patient. It's coming. That you're not supposed to know how the road looks, and that's okay. Because it's going to have so much variety and color and life that you can't predict. So you don't have to be so anxious. You don't have to worry so much because, as you've said a few times in this interview, slow and steady. Slow and steady is ultimately how we go through life. Even people who are trying to speed up the pace of their life, whether it's in a more or less healthy way. Time takes the time that it takes. Things take the time that they do. Some people get lucky and they rocket to a certain level of success and attention, and they get all kinds of roles when they're young, and very few, even fewer of them, maintain that as they get older. And for me, I feel like I'm still climbing, and I would say to my younger self, remember, it's a marathon, not a sprint. That's what I try to tell younger actors. It's a marathon, not a sprint, so pace yourself. It's okay. You're not going to know what your career looks like till the end of your life. And because you never know when the end of your life is going to be, just keep putting one foot in front of the other. Remember what your dreams are and aim for them. The magic word, and I learned this from Sesame Street, I'm not ashamed to say, that I've had to say to myself, and I'll say to anybody else who's feeling like, why isn't it happening? Like you, I would even say it to you, Philip, when you were saying, I've never been to New York, I've never been to Chicago. The magic word you add to those sentences to change them is yet. I haven't been to New York yet. I haven't been to Chicago yet. It's just yet. If you have that yet there, that means that it's a possibility. That means it'll come.
Exactly. Hey, you guys heard her. Take your time.
That's
So,
right. Have-
so
be patient. Even if you can't move slow, keep it in the back of your mind. It's it's a marathon. You got a ways to go. You got a ways to go. It's
e-
all right.
exactly. Well, I think that kind of wraps up everything. I take it we had a good time today.
I did. I did. Thank you. I hope you had a good time too.
Easy. I did.
I hope anyone listening had a good time.
Yeah, we had a great time talking about these things. So it's great.
Yeah, that's all I care about is I had a really great conversation with you. Thank you, Philip.